Well, hey, Trish Jenkins here, doing an experiment, actually. It's been a while since I've been reading from my book, and I'm live streaming into one of my Facebook pages and also YouTube, and then I'm going to play around with it a little bit. But it's been a while since I've read, but I've entered a 30-day challenge where I have to post something live on video every day. So if you're out there watching, give me a hoy in the comments, and if not, that's okay. But it would be great for you to join me. It's been a while, I know. I mean, look how far I got through. And I started reading last year because I did another 30-day challenge, and then I kind of just petered off from doing that. So who have we got here? Hey, Samuel, good to see you. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much for the support. All right, let's see. Maybe some other people will come and join us as well. So, and also, if you haven't seen me read any of these, you can go to my YouTube channel where I've got a whole playlist of me reading the books just in little chunks, like 5, 10, 15 minutes kind of at a time. And it starts off pretty dodgy, but I do get better at it. All right, so now here's the funny thing. Today is the 22nd of March in Australia, 21st elsewhere. And this is my 11th letter that I wrote. And as you can see, it's the 23rd of March that I wrote this. So there we go. So that's 12 years ago. Genuine letter. Hello, family and friends. An odd thing happened yesterday morning. It was Sunday, and I rose early hoping to see part of the Hillsong church program before the 6:30 muster call. There were no toddlers around to claim the lounge TV for the cartoons, so I asked the girls sitting around if they minded me turning on the TV. There are only cartoons on, they said. Hillsong's on Channel 10, I told them. Well, you can't have the TV on during muster. Well, fair enough. I raced upstairs to the other lounge to put it on, and I waited for the bell to ring that would summon me to the muster. Well, the roll call proceeded without the bell ringing, so I was the only one not present. My name was yelled up the stairs, so I sprinted back down, and it seems the girls informed the officer that I was watching my religious shows upstairs, so they didn't want to see it downstairs. Well, I know she was trying to help, but the officer gave them all a serve about discrimination and told them I could watch my show in the lounge like anyone else. No TV while muster is on, but either side of that 5 minutes is fine. How peculiar. I've no intention of manipulating the girls into watching my show if they don't want to. Unfortunately, by sticking up for me, thinking that she's helping, and the officer inadvertently caused those women to resent me. I didn't mind watching my show somewhere else so that they didn't have to sit through it if they're not interested. But the officer said she can watch what she wants in here just like you can. So they were in trouble. And now, of course, my desire to not worry them by minding my own business and watching TV, watching the Hillsong show upstairs, resulted in them getting in trouble. And of course, that's my fault. Yay. All right. Ironically, we had an impromptu sing-along last night when I pulled out the guitar. We began with Guns N' Roses and then ended with Amazing Grace. It's the one gospel song everybody knows, and a crowd had gathered by that time. So that was kind of nice. I'd like to collect the words and chords to some of the lovelier choruses because the women enjoy my singing and playing the guitar. The worship can touch the hardest heart. I'm enjoying my work at the cemetery. I like being around blokes for a change. Oh my goodness. Way too much estrogen when you're locked up, and it's all women I do enjoy being around blokes, fellas, for a change. There are 4 groundsmen. One is our supervisor. On Friday, a hole, industry speak for grave apparently, they call them holes, was dug for a funeral Oh, this was funny. Its position was in between two existing monuments. Okay, so they're digging a hole, and it had been dug too close to one side. Now that's a problem. It was hilarious watching the groundsman try to solve a rather serious problem. So what they would do is they would have a frame over the hole on the edges of the holes, the graves, so that it would the base of the frame would be round like so, and it would sit on the grass next to the hole, and then the coffin would sit on material like ribbons, but obviously stronger than that, and then they'd wind down, and so it would go from this frame down into the hole. Well, there wasn't enough room on one side for the foot. There was not enough grass to sit the feet of the frame, which is used to support the coffin. We had visions of the coffin tipping off and crashing into the hole and smashing one of the graves that were already down there. Because they do, they put, they'll dig a hole and they'll put one coffin in there and cover it up. And then they'll actually they'll reuse the real estate for other coffins, other deceased people going on top of one another. So I didn't know that before I worked in a cemetery, that they do that. And it's kind of, I mean, I understand that there's not much land left, but it's a little bit weird. So graves often hold more than one coffin. Fortunately, by the time they worked out a solution, it was time for morning tea. I do a lot of mowing. I mow, that's of the grass. I mow in between the rows, and I consider the names and the dates on the tombstones. It's quite relaxing, and I compose great preaching messages in my head based on what the Lord is showing me here. Someone asked me once, given what I had learned, if I would do it all again. I do get asked that sometimes. Would you do it all again? Of course not. I broke the law. I exclaimed then, and that's what I say now. No. While I would not do it all again, I have come to see that what I'm going through is worth it. My goodness, I wrote that while I was still incarcerated. 12 years ago, I wrote, I have come to see that what I'm going through is worth it. I need to spend some time with this chick because I forgot that, just how intense it really was then. We leave the past behind, but it's not a bad thing to just go back and remember those times when God really spoke to you, what you were going through, and the courageous decisions you made then. And you can remember them when you're discouraged now so that you can encourage yourself again. Many of us dream of having a great ministry, but we want it on our terms. We don't really count the cost because we cannot really see what the cost will be. Yet only by willingly paying the cost can we appreciate the joy and satisfaction of fulfilling our call. This was 12 years ago while I was incarcerated with no hope of any kind of future, no hope at all. And I didn't know what I was involved in the cost then, and I didn't know the journey that it would take me to get back up again with, coming home and reestablishing. And yet now, and especially with having had COVID happen, I haven't had COVID, but having it hit the world, now I've got this studio and I can beam into anywhere to minister. And I was doing that before flying and doing it physically, but I had no idea then. All I knew is that I just had to trust that God would do something with it. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to trust that God will do something with what you're going through right now. And you've got to press into Him to have that happen and do the things that will take you forward in that, and not wallow in the pain and the resentment. Get some healing, get some ministry, get that broken heart healed and mended so that you can actually be someone God can trust with ministering to someone else. And that might just be talking to your neighbor. You know, people talk about wanting a platform and this big ministry, and you know, it's the ones that get caught up in the celebrity that end up getting snared. So I don't care about that. It's fun and it's nice to travel and talk to people, but the thing that I want most desperately is to be effective. So if this is encouraging you, if it's helping anyone, then that's being effective. So I'll just sit here and read from my book, and I'll do whatever else opens up. All right, I'll just read that last paragraph again for those of you who are in leadership or have aspirations for ministry. Many of us dream of having a great ministry, but we want it on our terms. We don't really count the cost because we cannot really see what the cost will be. Yet only by willingly paying the cost can we appreciate the joy and satisfaction of fulfilling our call. There's always a cost and we don't know what it is. and yet we have to embrace it in order to see it come to fruition. So it's like we think we count the cost, but we've got no idea really. But if we're willing, God can do something with it. All right, bless you heaps. I hope that you've enjoyed that. I will resolve to read a bit every day, and we'll see how that goes. And if you've enjoyed that, make a comment, like it, share it, all that sort of thing. All right, bless you heaps. Bye.